The winds of a distant, barren planet howled across the landscape, kicking up dust and debris from the sprawling junkyard that stretched as far as the eye could see. Jason Cole, a human mechanic who had spent most of his life working on ships, had grown accustomed to the quiet desolation of this place. This was his sanctuary, a place where broken things came to life under his skilled hands. The galaxy's discarded wrecks found their way here, and Jason was content to fix them. To him, each piece of metal was a puzzle, each ship a canvas ready to be restored. He sat alone in his workshop, wiping grease off his hands as he stared at his latest project, an alien ship that had been left abandoned and forgotten in the junkyard. It was an odd-looking vessel, sleek, with smooth curves and a strange, shimmering surface that reflected the faint light of the planet's distant sun. The ship was unlike anything Jason had ever seen before. Its technology was foreign, the materials unfamiliar. It had been abandoned, likely for centuries, its systems long since deactivated and its engines cold. But Jason saw potential. He had a knack for fixing what others deemed useless, and he had no doubt that with time and patience, he could get this ship back in working order. The ship called to him, an enigmatic promise of something more. The hum of its engines had once been heard across distant worlds, and perhaps, one day, it could fly again. He spent days working on the vessel, his hands stained with grease and his mind consumed by the challenge. He rewired the power systems, reconfigured the engines, and slowly, piece by piece, brought the ship back to life. But as he worked, Jason noticed something strange. An odd, low whine from the ship, a sound he had initially thought was just part of its damaged systems. But the sound grew louder, and one day, as he was making final adjustments to the engines, he turned around to find the source of the noise. A small, furry creature was sitting in the doorway of the workshop, staring at him with wide, glowing eyes. It was an alien dog, unlike any creature Jason had ever seen before. Its fur was sleek and metallic, its body slender and agile. It had large, pointed ears that twitched as it observed Jason, and its eyes shone with a bright, almost otherworldly light. Jason was taken aback. He had expected to find alien technology, not alien animals. But the creature seemed harmless enough, and Jason couldn't help but smile at its curious nature. He bent down to greet the creature, his hands raised in a gesture of peace. "Hey there, little guy. Where did you come from?" The creature didn't respond with words, but it nuzzled Jason's hand with affection, its tail wagging in delight. Jason chuckled softly, wondering if this was some sort of automated system of the ship. Maybe it was part of the ship's long-forgotten crew, or perhaps a companion to the original pilot. Either way, the creature seemed friendly. Over the next few days, Jason continued his work on the ship, with the alien dog always by his side. It followed him everywhere, watching as he repaired the ship's engines, recalibrated its navigational systems, and cleared out the debris from its hull. Despite the ship's neglect, Jason found himself growing fond of the little creature. It seemed to sense his emotions, always appearing when he needed a break, offering a comforting presence in the solitude of the junkyard. As the days passed, the ship slowly came to life. Jason was amazed at how the alien technology responded to his efforts, as though it had been waiting for someone to bring it back. The lights flickered on, and the power systems hummed with energy. The ship, once a forgotten relic, was now ready to soar once again. Jason stood at the controls, his fingers hovering over the ship's main console. He had restored it to its former glory, but there was one final test. Would it fly? He took a deep breath and pushed the throttle forward. The ship shuddered, its engines roaring to life as it lifted off the ground, slowly at first, then with more power, until it was hovering several feet above the dusty surface. Jason's heart raced with excitement. It was working. The ship was flying again, thanks to his hard work and determination. But as he looked over at the little alien dog, he was surprised to see it standing at the control panel, its glowing eyes locked onto him with an intensity he hadn't seen before. The dog had been quiet for a while, but now it was watching him closely, as if sensing something more. "Hey there," Jason said, laughing nervously. "You want to take a ride?" The dog responded by barking, a sound that was strangely familiar, as though it was a sound of approval. Jason grinned and leaned back in the pilot's seat, allowing the ship to rise higher into the sky. The little alien dog sat next to him, watching the stars through the windows as the ship ascended into space. But something was different. As they flew through the atmosphere, Jason noticed that the dog was no longer just sitting idly by. It was moving, almost as if it were communicating with the ship itself. Its paws tapped on the controls, and the ship seemed to respond. It was as if the ship was attuned to the dog, as though it were guiding them through the stars. Jason couldn't believe what he was seeing. The ship was alive, not just with its alien technology, but with the strange connection between the dog and the vessel. It was as though the ship and the creature were bound together, their fates intertwined. As they soared into the vast expanse of space, Jason realized that the ship wasn't just an ancient relic. It was a living entity, and the dog was its guardian. The creature had been waiting for someone to repair the ship, to bring it back to life, and now it was fulfilling its role, guiding them through the stars. Jason smiled, feeling a sense of wonder and awe as he gazed out at the infinite expanse of space. He had repaired the ship, but it was the little alien dog that had truly brought it back to life. And now, together, they were free to explore the universe. As they flew through the stars, Jason couldn't help but think of the journey ahead. There were endless possibilities out there, new worlds to discover, new adventures to be had. And with his loyal companion by his side, Jason knew that the future was wide open. The dog barked again, as if agreeing with his thoughts. Jason laughed, his heart full of excitement. It had been a long, lonely journey to get here, but now he had a ship, a companion, and a future filled with endless possibilities. In that moment, Jason realized that sometimes the greatest rewards come not from what we expect, but from the unexpected. The little alien dog, the ship, it was all a reminder that in the vastness of the universe, anything was possible.